15 programming myths that waste your time. Imagine being stuck in a never-ending escape room. Except the puzzles were written in Latin, and the exit sign just says, "Get good." That's programming culture for you. It's a place where people romanticize pain, worship broken sleep cycles, and share Stack Overflow answers like ancient scrolls passed down from burnt-out wizards. But behind every best practice or holy advice from tech bros with octopus tattoos and coffee breath lies a myth. A lie. A productivity trap disguised as wisdom. Let's bust them, because chances are your code isn't slow. Your belief system is. Number 1. Real programmers don't use Google. You've heard it. You felt the shame. You've tried typing furiously in your IDE hoping no one sees the tab with the question, how to center a div? Meanwhile, Chad 2 desks away is compiling a C++ neural net while sipping bone broth through a metal straw. And you? You're praying to the gods of Stack Overflow, the real pantheon of modern software. Here's the truth. Real programmers Google everything. The only difference between juniors and seniors? Seniors just Google better. They know the magic incantation, the exact phrasing that turns cryptic error messages into gold. Why? Because the human brain is not designed to store the syntax of 12 programming languages for frameworks and every obscure CLI flag invented in the dark basement of open source hell. Memorizing code isn't mastery. It's madness. We have tools now. Imagine a carpenter who refuses to use a measuring tape because real carpenters eyeball it. That's how you sound. Use Google. Shamelessly. Often. You're not dumb. You're resourceful. You're adapting. You're surviving. And that's smarter than anyone pretending to remember what bind this does without looking it up. Punchline. If you don't Google your bugs will Google you. Number 2. You must learn algorithms to be a real developer. Yes, the ancient rite of passage. Sorting algorithms. Binary trees. Dynamic programming. You thought you were learning to build apps. Instead, you're reconstructing 1960s math homework while someone with a clipboard judges your ability to reverse a linked list in place. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you reversed a linked list in your actual job? Not your coding interview. Not your leak code streak. Your real job. Didn't happen? Yeah, me neither. Yet we treat algorithm drills like the Rosetta Stone of development. Like memorizing Dijkstra will suddenly make you better at writing clean, maintainable UI code. Spoiler, it doesn't. In real-world coding, you need 3 skills. 1. Can you break down a problem? 2. Can you explain your logic? 3. Can you write code someone else won't curse at in 6 months? You're not auditioning for a chess grandmaster tournament. You're trying to build something people can use. Does this mean algorithms are useless? No. They're just not the sacred cow recruiters make them out to be. Knowing them can help, but worshipping them is cargo cult behavior. Stop feeling like a fraud because you can't do merge sort in your sleep. Feel like a fraud because you wrote 600 lines of jQuery last week. Just kidding. Sort of. Punchline. If your product crashes but your quicksort is flawless, congratulations, you're unemployed with perfect big O. Number 3. You have to know everything about tech to get started. This one's sneaky. It doesn't come with bold claims. It whispers. It waits. Learn HTML before CSS. Wait. Learn Git first. No, the terminal. Oh, and pick a language. But not that one, it's dead. Before you know it, you're 3 months into your learning journey and haven't written a single damn program. Just bookmarks. Just YouTube tutorials. Just a graveyard of unfinished Udemy courses. Why? Because you thought you needed to know everything before doing anything. Here's the uncomfortable truth. That feeling never goes away. Even senior devs live with the constant fear that someone knows more. Because they do. There's always someone. There's always more. The trick isn't to know everything. The trick is to build anyway. To ship despite the gaps. You don't need to be an expert to be effective. You just need to start. Write the ugly code. Break stuff. Google furiously. Don't chase mastery. Chase momentum. Because done is better than perfect. And deployed is better than hypothetical. Punchline. The only developers who know everything are retired. Or lying. Or both. Number 4. Good code doesn't need comments. Ah yes, the sacred mantra of the uber-elite programmer. You've probably heard it in whispers on Stack Overflow or seen it spray-painted across the forehead of some smug dev in a conference hoodie. Clean code explains itself. No, it doesn't. You know what else explains itself? A well-written IKEA manual. And even that comes with pictures and still makes you cry. Here's the dirty truth. Code doesn't speak for itself. It grunts. It mumbles. It uses nicknames you've never heard before. Variables named x, temp, and foobar-bazcux 1337. Functions that do 6 different things, but are still called handle data. And then there's you, 6 months later, trying to debug your own code like a detective at a crime scene you committed while blackout drunk. Why did I write this? What was I thinking? Was I okay? Spoiler, you weren't. Comments aren't just for junior devs. They're for future you, who will have the memory of a goldfish and the emotional stability of a wet tissue when trying to understand why the pagination function also sets off the fire alarm. Your brain doesn't cache logic forever. It forgets. It mutates. It moves on. And nothing slaps harder than stumbling across a line of code with a clear comment that says, Python. Sawception SUA. Hashtag yes, this is dumb. But it fixes a bug in Safari 14 on Tuesdays. That's love. That's foresight. That's friendship. So stop believing you're writing code for robots. You're writing it for humans. Confused, underpaid humans with caffeine dependencies and commitment issues. Comment your damn code. Number 5. You must master every language. What are you? A programming Pokemon? This myth smells like it was invented by someone who drank a Red Bull, watched a YouTube tutorial at 3 a.m., and decided to become a full-stack blockchain AI VR ninja. Look, the tech industry is already designed to make you feel inadequate. There's a new framework every Tuesday and a new language every time you blink. But here's the trick. Being fluent in 10 languages doesn't mean you can write good software. It means you know how to Google 10 different syntaxes. The myth that you must master every language is just mental debt wearing a graduation cap. You need 1 language to learn problem solving, maybe 2 to stay versatile. The rest? Pick them up as needed. Otherwise, you'll spend 3 months learning Haskell and forget why you even wanted to build a to-do list app in the first place. Nobody walks into a kitchen and says, I can't make spaghetti until I master Peruvian cuisine. Use the language that lets you ship, that lets you test, that lets you debug without questioning your life choices at 2 a.m. Don't chase prestige, chase productivity. The world doesn't need another polyglot who's fluent in everything and still can't finish a project. Number 6. Real programmers don't use Stack Overflow. Okay, Mr. Neanderthal. What's next? You gonna write your own compiler from scratch using smoke signals? Let's be honest. Stack Overflow isn't just a resource. It's a co-pilot, a therapist, and a confessional booth for developers worldwide. Pretending you don't use it is like pretending you don't Google song lyrics when you mishear them. Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza. The entire job of programming is not knowing how to do something and figuring it out. And if you're not using the most upvoted answer from 2013 that somehow still works, are you even a developer? Gatekeeping around Stack Overflow is like gatekeeping the use of pencils. It's a tool. Use it. Abuse it. Just don't copy-paste blind without understanding the code, or you'll be that guy who pastes in a fix and ends up mining Dogecoin on his company server. You are not weak for searching. You are smart for solving. And if someone ever sneers at you for using Stack Overflow, paste their error message into Google. Then ignore them forever. Number 7. You can't be a developer without a CS degree. This one's vintage. Like an old wine that now gives people a rash. Let me ask you this. Do you know what your favorite dev YouTuber's degree is? Do you care? Exactly. The CS degree used to be the gatekeeper. But now, code bootcamps, YouTube, open source, memes. It's the Wild West out here. Sure, a degree helps. You learn algorithms, data structures. Big O, not that kind. Stop giggling. But the truth is, companies hire people who can ship, not people who can recite quicksort in their sleep. The degree isn't the destination. It's just one path. You know what screams hireable? A well-built portfolio. A project that solves a real problem. A GitHub commit history that looks like you've seen some things. You can learn to code while flipping burgers, while raising a toddler, while recovering from bad JavaScript relationships. So if some tech bro tells you a CS degree is a must, tell him to go bubble sort himself. Number 8. More code equals more productivity. Oh, this one. This is the myth that makes managers smile and developers cry. It's the reason sprint boards look like crime scenes and code reviews take 7 hours. Let's be clear. Writing more code is not the same as solving more problems. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is delete code, refactor code, refuse to write code in the first place. Good code is not a word count competition. You know who writes a lot of code? AI. And most of it looks like it was trained on a haunted cookbook. Productivity is not measured in lines. It's measured in clarity, impact, and how few bugs you shipped on Friday at 4:59 p.m. Write less. Think more. That's how you earn the title developer, not syntax typist. Number 9. You should be coding every day. Sure, if you want your mental health to look like spaghetti code. This myth is the hustle culture virus in its purest form. Real coders code every day. No, real coders also rest, burn out, and sometimes just stare at a bug for 2 hours before crying into their keyboard. You are not a robot. Even ChatGPT goes down for maintenance. You know what happens when you force yourself to code daily? You start to resent it. You build things you hate. You cut corners, write spaghetti, and commit crimes against humanity in JavaScript. Progress isn't linear. Some days you'll crush it. Some days you'll just rename variables and watch cat videos. That's okay. Consistency beats intensity. Enjoyment beats guilt. Sanity beats hustle porn. Write code because you want to, not because Twitter told you it's what real devs do. Your brain will thank you. So will your code. Number 10. Frameworks are for lazy developers. Let's clear something up. Using frameworks doesn't make you lazy. What's lazy is reinventing the wheel and still managing to build a triangle. You ever meet that one guy who says, "Real devs write everything from scratch"? Cool, Chad. Real surgeons also don't build their own scalpels. Frameworks exist because someone else already suffered, bled, and wrote 10,000 lines of boilerplate, so you don't have to. Your refusal to use them? That's not craftsmanship. That's masochism dressed up as pride. Wanna understand the fundamentals? Great. But don't hold your app hostage to your purity. You can study anatomy and still use Google Maps to find a hospital. Because frameworks don't make you lazy. They make you fast. They make you relevant. They make you employed. Number 11. Version control is optional if you're working alone. Oh honey, you ever lost a file named final v3 actually final thysone really final2.js? You ever copy-pasted your own code into Notepad just in case? Congrats. You've time-traveled back to 2006. And Git is quietly judging you. Version control isn't about teamwork. It's about sanity. It's like having a time machine for your dumbest mistakes. You don't think you'll need it until 3 a.m. rolls around and your app is on fire and you can't remember what you did 4 hours ago. Using Git alone is like writing a diary. But instead of feelings, you're documenting bugs and regrets. Abacus number 12. You have to be a math genius to code. No, you don't need to understand linear algebra to center a div. Coding isn't math. It's logic wrapped in frustration wrapped in Stack Overflow tabs. Yes, some fields, machine learning, graphics, love math. But for 99% of developers, it's more important to understand promises than prove the Riemann hypothesis. People say programmers are bad at math, like it's a flaw. Nah, it's a feature. We don't do math. We ask Google and keep going. Number 13. Clean code is just a luxury. You think commenting your functions is a waste of time? Wait until you try to read them 3 months from now. You think naming a variable x is fine? Yeah, until x becomes y, and then y becomes your emotional breakdown. Clean code isn't for your teammates. It's for future you, and future you is tired, undercaffeinated, and screaming. Write code like the person maintaining it is a murderous insomniac with a vendetta, because that person is you. In 6 weeks, at 2 a.m., during production. Number 14. If it works, don't touch it. This myth is tattooed across the forehead of every legacy code base. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You mean? If it hasn't exploded yet, don't bother understanding it. That's how bugs turn into folklore. That's how no one knows why the app crashes when Mercury is in retrograde. Just because it works doesn't mean it's right. Cockroaches also work. Doesn't mean we want them in our code. Number 15. Debugging is for junior devs. Oh, sweet summer child. Debugging isn't a skill. It's a lifestyle. Senior devs don't debug less. They just scream quieter. You think debugging is beneath you? Tell that to the seasoned engineer staring at logs with the same face someone makes at tax paperwork. Real devs know. Writing code is 50% logic, 30% hope, and 20% prayer. And debugging? It's the moment where your illusion of control shatters, and you realize the real villain was you all along. Brain final thoughts. So, what did we learn? You're not a bad developer. You're just surrounded by programming myths designed to waste your time, drain your sanity, and make you Google, "Why am I crying in the terminal?" The truth? You don't need to suffer to be smart. You don't need to write assembly to feel real. You just need to stop believing the lies your brain and Twitter keep whispering in your ears. So next time someone tells you you're not hardcore enough for not using Vim inside WSL inside a Docker container inside your grandma's toaster, smile and let them debug their ego at 3 a.m. Subscribe for more truth bombs your keyboard wasn't ready for. Because you deserve better than.